GSK or Bulayan sa Kabalayan started as a COVID-19 pandemic response anchored on the principles of sustainable and inclusive development, in collaboration with the local community and select government and non-government organizations, to establish urban community microfarm, whether at home or at an open space in a community, thereby promoting hyper-local food production system for a more food secure, resilient, and sustainable urban community. The project also tapped the resources of the youths, especially the out-of-school youth in the community, to make gardening hip and fun to the younger generation, thereby addressing the issue of the aging farmers of the country. The project has achieved its primary purpose as people are actively engaged in growing their own vegetable garden. Urban residents, from the young to the elderly, have become preoccupied with their vegetable garden in addressing issues on hunger, malnutrition, and poverty through its GSK project.
Prior to the establishment of the Northern Mindanao Food Innovation Center, there was a proposal in 2008 for a facility that would help local businesses with the packaging and labeling of their food products. Finally, in 2012, the Food Producers Association of Northern Mindanao expressed the need for a food research facility that will help its members improve existing food products or expand concepts into products.
The Northern Mindanao Food Innovation Center was established to assist the growing number of micro, small, and medium enterprises in Northern Mindanao.
Moving forward, we wanted the FIC to be one of the biggest research centers in Mindanao, where its technology output brings economic impact to the region.
Primarily in the future, we are looking forward into seeing these micro and small enterprises grow to at least become medium enterprises, again to contribute to sustainable growth in the country for Industry 4.0.
As a technology hub for innovations and technical support services for the food industry in the region, we are guided by our tagline, which says, transforming concepts into products, making local innovations work.
One of the program of FIC is to assess them in the product development. Okay, as you notice here in Northern Mindanao alone, there are already products or there are already SMS assisted by our FIC. The product, the labeling, the packaging. As you notice, there are products now in the market. Okay. So the FIC help on that.
So if you have an idea or a concept regarding food that you would want to develop further, that you would want to grow into a business, come and see us at FIC.
The NMFIC serves as a technology hub for innovations, research and development, and support services for the value adding of fresh produce and development of processed foods in Northern Mindanao.
I believe this FIC has an impact to the community when it comes to the food industry. They help this industry in improving and producing their product, increasing the value of their product.
Having a work experience in agriculture, in environmental conservation, I have already observed that I guess one of the pressing challenges of our food security is the aging Filipino farmers.
Okay, so Raina, when did Kids Who Farm start? Can you tell us how it started?
It started to February 26, 2019. And how it started with a single idea to replenish my school's garden. It was really deserted. The plants were dead already. And there was like no one who was watching over it.
I realized that even as a small child can actually propose solutions to the pressing problems of our society, and one of which is food security. So I was encouraged to create something out of the work that I do, sort of advocacy, and that's why Raina and I brainstormed about the name Kids Who Farm. I was inspired to pursue Kids Who Farm together with her because I saw that everyone has a role to play in the solution to our problems, and even as a young kid, as a 9-year-old kid, propose a solution, then I guess everyone can be a part of the bigger answer to this problem. When we started, basically we just want to, we're passionate about teaching kids about farming, and we organize activities based on our
Eating food. Since Kids Who Farm is mainly about appreciating the value of food, well, I guess that's my favorite part of Kids Who Farm, food.
So
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شامل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks
for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you. When we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the lights of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Transform our very lives. You engrave prudence in our hearts. that, I hope everyone is doing well. It is with enthusiasm that I welcome you all, our leaders, in our webinar today entitled No More Gutom, an online forum for aspiring SK officials discussing food security. So I am Chelsea Mayuman and I will be your host for today's event. So before we formally start our program, mga ka-GSKs, may I see any reactions from you, our Facebook and Zoom viewers, also by commenting any emojis that describe what you are feeling right now. So let me see your feelings, guys, through your emojis. Can I have your comments here on the comment section here at the Zoom and also at the Facebook Live? So we have Ate Mayan here, some like lovey-dovey emojis. I believe that she is full from her lunch kanina, no? Kasi parang ang saya-saya ng mga emojis na binigay niya sa atin dito sa Zoom comment section. We also have some applause, some smiles, some celebration, because yes, indeed, this is a celebration because this webinar will surely help us get to know some knowledges and be enlightened by the expertise of our dear speakers. I am really excited for that part later on this segment of ours. No? So, how about the Facebook viewers natin? Can I see some comments of emojis that will describe your reactions and feelings right now po? Meron ba tayong mga Facebook viewers right now? Kindly comment here on the comment section below. Grabe, umaapaw talaga yung mga heart na emojis because I do believe that they are really having a great day today, no? And it will surely last until the rest of the day because we are now here at our webinar. So, furthermore, no, since we are now having these reactions here on our screen, you can also like type in kung ano pa yung mga expectations nyo for today and everything that includes our webinar for today po. So keep your your comments coming, guys, and let us flood our comment section. Let me see those hearts and reactions. Grabe, may padila pa yung ilan sa atin dito, no? So they are really, it really shows that they are really excited for our webinar for today. So anyways, I'm sure that we are all very much excited now to learn through this yet an insightful forum. So without further ado, we have prepared, our speakers have prepared a lot of discussion that is really relevant to our today's webinar po. But before that, moving to that next segment, let me share an important detail about the event's name. Grabe, it's really may pahugot talaga, may pinanggagalingan talaga yung title ng segment natin today. So now, Gutom, if you can see on our screen, is actually an acronym for G, which stands for Give Access Information for Food Security. U for Understand the Need for Food Security. And T for Transferring Knowledge. To O, Open Minds. To M, Make More Food Security Initiatives. Grabe talaga, a big round of applause for our heads and to the people talaga po na nagka-think ng acronyms and ng meaning for our title of our segment for today. So, since we are still waiting for the reactions and everything, and you have already flooded our comment section pala here, you know that some aren't recognized na, let's proceed na to our warm welcome for today so that we can start officially our event. So let us attentively listen to the opening remarks by Sir Floreto B. Quinito Jr. A virtual round of applause, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to extend my congratulations to the organizer of this event, and of course to Ma'am Angie Colliera, the focal person, the chairman of the Committee of Sustainable Development Committee of USTP, and for coming up this forum. Actually, this is very timely, and for the student office of the student affairs, we actually saw the value of engaging into sustainable development. And with that, the last AWFP training workshop with student leaders, we actually made the sustainable development goals as our main and number one area in the annual work and financial plan. It means that all the student organizations of USTP will really be engaged, and we will be actively participating in the mandate and in this advocacy of the university. And we are so fortunate, and we are so blessed to be in USTP, one of the leading university who is actually advocating and promoting the sustainable development goals in the country, and not only that, in the entire world. And yeah, as a personal advocate as well of the sustainable development goals, the zero hunger, the no more gutom, is actually one of my favorite part. It's because me personally, I plant these fruit trees, I plant vegetables at home, I use and utilize all those spaces at home and plant whatever I can in order for me to bring bring food on the tables. And we as a student, as youth, we can actually do big part in our society. No, not being a consumer of this good, but also a producer of this good. And we are helping the community, our society, educate and advocate and promote this awareness, no, kaniya to ang mga kauban, kaniya tong mga isig ka mga estudyante nga madala ang kaniyang klase nga awareness and information, how important it is and how doable it is to really make food in our backyard, in our surroundings. And so with it, this forum is very, very important. We have a very good resource speaker, I know, and I'm sure they are going to help us, and they're going to give us a lot of insight and information how we can really be, how can we live and realize, no, that we can be a very instrumental part of this number 2 of the sustainable development goals. And as one community, as one USTP, as a trailblazer, we are not just putting it in paper, but we are living with it. And we will continue to advocate the promotion of the zero hunger in our community. And we will always shout how we can advance sustainable development goals in our community. And dako kayo tag part as student leaders, not even no bisan pagdili ta mga SK chairman sa to ang community, but we can voice out, but we can always raise this issue and raise this concern to our community and to this SK chairman. If you are SK chairman, much better, because you can put it in your platform, you can put it in your propaganda, you can put budget to it, and of course you can advocate the awareness of it to your society. Again, thank you very much for attending, and please invite more colleagues to attend this forum. This is very, very informative, and see how we can be of a good instrument and living this kind of advocacy, not only to fulfill the target in our AWFP, but also we have a personal experience to this sustainable development goals. Zero hunger, that would be possible, and that would be feasible, and we will work for it. Advancing a sustainable future, that would always be our motto as far as USTP Trailblazers concerned. Daghang salamat, Ma'am Angie. Congratulations to the committee and for the organizer of this event. Maayong hapon and mabuhay.
Thank you so much for that, Sir Kenito. No, I totally agree with Sir Kenito, guys, that the youth right now can do something, not just being a consumer, but being a producer and a promoter for sustainable development goals. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Floreto Kenito Jr. So now, before we delve into the first talk, let us first know what really is the main reason on why this webinar is initiated. With that, please help me welcome the head of the Center for Human Development, Ma'am Angeli Azcuna Coliera. A round of applause, please.
Yes, hi and good afternoon sa ating lahat. Kumusta? Thank you, Sir June, for that welcoming remarks, no, for gracing our activity this afternoon. And we also would like to thank you, our partners in this, with Sir Elmer Soriano from Zero Hunger Lab, and of course the Kids Who Farm, Munir, and we have actually in our back room, our technical room, the SUTCMS, the students of TCM of USTP Cagayan de Oro. Let's give them a round of applause. They're they're in the war room right now, no? So it's really exciting, and ako talaga mismo, no, we're always a youth ba that we are having this event with the youth and for the youth. Now, basically how this started was because of our partnership with, of course, Zero Hunger and Kids Who Farm. And kasi napag-usapan namin that it's kailangan na talaga natin with climate emergency. We're no longer in the climate crisis, sabi ng mga advocates. We are already in the climate emergency situation, no? And greatly affected niyan ang ating mga pagkain. We survived the pandemic, the lockdowns in 2020, 2021, and we were grateful that we were yung mga backliners natin, yung mga food producers natin, no, were somehow kept safe. Yung industry nila yung medyo malakas at that time, but nowadays nakita natin yung ng effect ng pandemic, effect din ng inflation, which is not just suffered by the Philippines, but this is global already. Add to that is the emergencies that is brought by climate change. So, yun nga, and with elections in the horizon, we're a few weeks away into the election, we thought that we'd invite the SK na mga aspiring na mga officials, no, discussions with Dr. Elmer and Munir of Kids Who Farm, na we'd invite them para naman din ma-spread natin yung usapan about food security. Malawak kasi yung usapan ng food security. Sir Elmer later will talk about it. And this afternoon, we are so grateful for our speakers. We have three, no? Si Doc Elmer, si Monsi, a good friend, and of course we have John Ray from Kayan, who's an advocate and in Cagayan de Oro, and they will be sharing with us yung mga inputs nila kung paano ba talaga natin i-handle tong food security na pinag-usapan natin, no, pag-uusapan natin this afternoon. So yun, and we hope that this afternoon we'd really bring, we would be able to plant seeds on your hearts, yung ganon, no? And we hope that through your initiatives, mga programs nyo, mga youth leaders natin na who's in the Zoom room right now and in our FB Live, no, that we will all together work in securing, no, a more sustainable and resilient and food secure, no, na urban na community. So I hope that we will all be busog at the end of this webinar. But we will not be closing the conversations. This is yet the beginning of the conversations in our quest for really establishing that food secure, resilient, and sustainable community. So sit back, and if you have any questions, feel free to interact through our chat room and of course our Facebook Live na comment section. So let's always remember, no, kaya bakit tayo nandito ngayon? It's because we only have one earth. We only have to care and share and live in harmony. Maayong hapon sa tanan.
Thank you so much for that, Ma'am Ange. No? As I sa mag-agree talaga ako sa fact na youthful talaga tayong lahat dito. Grabe, with the information from Ma'am Ange that we are now in a climate emergency na pala, it's really important to make a change na and lead the initiative to food security. So, moving forward so that we can learn a lot again about the food security, we have here our first speaker, and he is a co-convener of Zero Hunger Love, an initiative that is cross-disciplinary network of food security and nutrition advocates and experts. And he also attained his Master's of Public Administration degree at the Harvard Kennedy School. So let us welcome Dr. Elmer Estoriano as he talks about food security in the Philippines. A virtual round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chelsea. Thank you very much, Prof. Angel, for inviting me again. I'm glad to be here speaking to students of USTP and youth leaders. May hugot ako dito kasi I started also, my leadership journey also started when I was a youth leader in my student org when I was in college. And namulat yung mata ko sa challenges, the need for youth leaders. And that's why after graduating, ang first job ko, taga Luzon ako no? Lumaki ako dito sa Luzon. Pero yung first job ko was with cooperatives in Mindanao. No? It was part adventure, part an experiment in youth leadership. And nakatrabaho ko yung mga market vendors cooperatives, employees cooperatives na nagsasama-sama to take on really tough challenges. And that was a few decades ago. And nakita ko nga na yung hamon, the challenge for young leaders now in ways is tougher. No, yung parang may climate change, abutan kayo ng pandemic, parang wow, ang gulo-gulo ng mundo, and therefore kailangan mas magaling yung mga youth leaders. No? Young leaders will grow old to become seasoned leaders to take on all of these challenges. So let me share with you my thoughts on how pwede natin maging platform ang university at saka yung student organizations natin in SKs para sa leadership in the area of food security and nutrition. Okay? So ito yung overview ng aking presentation. I'll introduce ourselves, tapos ano yung challenge at ano yung pwede natin gawin. Una, sino ba kami? We are the Civica Asian Development Academy, and we operate at the intersection of leadership development, innovation, and impact. No? So on the leadership front, we equip mayors, governors, government workers on leadership skills. And on the innovation part naman, we set up labs, including the Zero Hunger Lab. And ginagawa namin to para may totoong impact. No? Hindi lang to activity, but we actually aim to reduce childhood malnutrition through the Zero Hunger Lab. Ngayon, itong initiative na ito, yung Zero Hunger Lab and Civica, actually started as a student project when I was a student, graduate student sa Harvard Kennedy School and at MIT, where yung project namin sa MIT D-Lab was to solve the problem of 1 billion people. And that's how we ended up conceptualizing Civica, Asian Development Academy, and the different social labs. Okay? Ngayon, anong objectives in my short presentation this afternoon? One, I will describe the leadership role of university students and SKs in reducing food insecurity and reducing childhood malnutrition. And then describe possible partnerships between the university, student organizations, and volunteer students, and SKs and municipalities. And then number 3, to recruit you to become volunteers for this effort, kasi hindi ko naman yan pwedeng gawin. Nandito ako sa Luzon. So ang gagawa niyan, taga Mindanao rin. And if you're online, you can start checking out the volunteer website. No? Punta kayo sa www.lcp.zerohungerlab.com. And yung volunteer form, nandyan na. Okay? Ngayon, ano yung challenge or opportunity sa atin? No? The opportunity, meron tayong SK elections and barangay elections on October 30. And in Region 10 has around 2,000 barangays and around 100 municipalities plus cities plus provinces. Roughly 100 yun. So ang tanong may marirecruit ba tayo? Can we recruit 10 to 300 USTP students who will work with the different SK federations? No, alam naman natin, Gen Z na kayo. And therefore, all of you are on Viber, TikTok, Messenger. Yung mga SK federations in all over Region 10, lahat yan may Facebook page. No? Lahat yan within reach. Isa-search lang natin, makakonect na tayo dyan. And for sure, there will be, if there are 2,000 barangays in Region 10, ang hula ko, at least 100, maybe 200 barangays, may USTP student na ma-elect na SK Sangguniang Kabataan Officer in at least 200 barangays, 10%. Rough estimate lang. So how can we tap this network to advance childhood food security and reduce childhood malnutrition in Region 10? Okay? Ngayon, ano yung Zero Hunger Lab or ano yung in general yung social labs? No? Social labs are platforms for addressing complex social challenges. No? Nasa school tayo, theoretically tinuturuan tayo ng school how to solve problems. So the lab is one platform for solving problems. No? How is the Zero Hunger Lab such a lab? One, we try to bring together diverse participants to work in a team to act collectively. No? Labs are also experimental. Ibig sabihin, hindi ito yung parang isang experiment lang tapos na. No? Yung addressing food security in Region 10 will take a lot of effort over many years, and that's why it makes sense to work with universities. Kasi 50 years from now, 100 years from now, nandyan pa rin ang USTP. So in a sense, the universities are super citizens of the province. Pangmatagalan kayo. And therefore, dapat ma-harness natin yung universities. And then they are systemic. No? Yung food security is not just about agriculture. It's not just about nutrition or nursing or child development. No? They are all interconnected. And we're happy that we are working with the USTP Center for Human Development Studies kasi tama-tama, mahalaga na nagsasalubong yung different disciplines. Okay. Ngayon, here are a few examples ng undergraduate students namin working dito sa Luzon, no? Working with SKs and universities. So in this picture on the left, ito, we had a leadership training, pinagsama-sama yung SKs and university students, student leaders sa Quezon City, and then we asked them to look for their form teams and then identify their own advocacies. And then after 1 or 2 weeks, yung isang team pumunta na sa Quezon City Council. Ito yung the legislative building ng Quezon City. And then minit na nila yung SK Federation Chair, this guy in stripes. And the city councilor in charge of mental health. Okay? So you do not, they're actually not SKs. Itong dalawang students na ito, they're not SKs. One is a nursing student, one is an education student. Tapos yun, meron silang advocacy on mental health. Dito naman sa right, this is a picture of a student team that worked in one of our other labs, the Bamboo Impact Lab. And they worked for 1 year, capstone project nila yun, senior sila. And then they won 1 million pesos with our Bamboo Impact Lab sa Quezon City Startup Competition. So dito, confirm that student projects, student research have a lot of untapped power. No? Hindi pa lang natin na harness fully yung kakayahan ng Gen Z ngayon. And the universities and USTP is an excellent place to start. Ngayon, ano yung itsura nito? If ever magvo-volunteer kayo to become food security fellows. No? Yan. Una, you will identify, parang feel niyo ba to? May hugot ba kayo for food security and nutrition? Diba? Can you identify na parang feel nyo ito as an issue? And then kung gusto niyo yun, mag-volunteer kayo, sign up in the website, and then form teams. No? Form teams either yung barkada ninyo or student org ninyo, or you can be teamed up with other volunteers na maaaring hindi nyo kakilala. And then we can start working on different projects. No? We'll have to find a project site so that you can do some data gathering. So yung picture dito, I don't know if it baka maaaring masyado maliit, no? But these are actually senior high school students working on childhood malnutrition sa Sultan Kudarat. No, we did this already in Sultan Kudarat. And ito, nag-interview na sila sa Barabarangay kung ano yung mga factors. Tapos at some point, mayroon na kayong research findings, interpretation, recommendation. Pwede nyo nang i-present sa City Council, no? Or Municipal Council. And we can help you get a meeting with the mayors or the municipal councilors in the municipalities where you want to work. And then ideally, it will result in mobilization of even more youth. No? Tapos, later on, magkakaroon ng forum either at the municipal level or provincial level so that we can share what your findings were on through a larger platform. Okay? Ngayon, ano yung context? No? USTP in the broader Region 10. Region 10 has roughly 5 million population and 700,000 individuals live in Cagayan de Oro. No? So 1 out of 7, halos 1 out of 7 individuals sa buong Region 10 nakatira sa Cagayan de Oro. So madali nyo nang maka-connect. No? So USTP has 8 campuses and 17,000 students. And that is a lot of brain power. No? Parang, ang tanong na lang dyan, yung 17,000 students ba yan and mahahatak natin? Can we mobilize them to step up and be change makers in their own barangays, in their own hometowns? No? Ngayon, in terms of reducing childhood malnutrition, we do not need to go far. Kasi yung Limasawa Island is actually one of the best performing in terms of food security and nutrition. They have among the lowest childhood malnutrition rates in the entire country. And kung tinapatan, if we were able to learn the recipe from, and meron naman documentation yan, no? But if we were able to recreate the recipe of Limasawa in Region 10, that would result in close to 21,000 children less na dahil na-kopya natin yung ginagawa ng Limasawa and we were able to achieve the same results. And hopefully, over time, there will be hundreds, if not thousands of students na gaya nito. No? Dito, yung picture kanina earlier na nagde-data gathering sila. Ngayon, ito yung mga senior high school students reporting their findings to the mayor. Ito yung mayor. Nagkaroon sila ng research forum and dito pinag-usapan nila yung childhood malnutrition because the mayor identified that childhood malnutrition was a major priority area for their municipality sa Sultan Kudarat. Ganun rin yung experience sa Iloilo naman to, nursing students, no? Sa mga nursing students na ma-recruit natin, meron course ng community nursing, and bagay na bagay yun. Kayo maging actively engaged in addressing childhood malnutrition in the communities. We imagine that USTP can be a hub in Region 10 So that, kasi ang USTP may head start na eh. You've been at this, may funding na kayo. You've been at this for 2 or 3 years. And pwede, I work with many different universities all over the country. I think USTP can be the showcase. You might as well behave na parang pakanay and i-share ninyo, hindi naman sa mapagmataas na mas mayabang tayo sa iba, no? But we have a lot to share already, given that USTP sits in the Provincial Nutrition Council, and then you have this Food Innovation Center, and then may funding kayo for the agriculture. So I think there is much to learn from USTP, and then therefore, mahalaga that USTP students take the practice even further, no? Para mas madaming matututunan yung mga ibang universities sa atin, other regions. Okay? Ngayon, ano yung pwedeng gawin ng mga estudyante? One, you can learn and apply basic leadership techniques to advance food systems integration, influence key stakeholders through in-person and online conversations, and then coordinate with USTP other centers, yung mga NSTP sections, because that way we'll have boots on the ground through 8 campuses. And then meet friends and professional contacts. And then we think that if we had enough volunteers, kaya na itong umusad with 4 to 16 hours per month. So that will be 1 hour per week to 4 hours per week. No? Basta marami tayo. Why should you join? Bakit kaya kayo? Ano yung pakinabang nyo if you join this initiative? Una, kung magpapakit ka sa crush mo, this might be a good way. It makes you a more interesting person, baka mag-volunteer rin siya, may intriga siya sa'yo. So this is a good way of meeting other students from other disciplines. Kasi siyempre sa university meron na tayong barkada, but widening your circles allows you to meet more people. It also makes you a more interesting person. And then maaaring maging mas impactful yung college life ninyo, madami kayong matutunan, gaya ng MC natin. O di bukod sa kanyang coursework, kung ano-anong pinagagawa nila dito sa production team. No? And then I think you will also become more employable. No? Because by the time you graduate, pag nag-apply kayo for a job, asahan nyo na that there are around 100 other applicants for that same job. Sabay-sabay kayo nag-graduate. No? And this will allow you to make your resume more different. No? It will allow you to stand out. Pag in-interview na kayo sa job interview ninyo, tapos nakita yung line na naging Zero Hunger Lab Food Systems Fellow kayo, pwedeng tanungin kayo doon. Tell me more about that. Ano yung ginawa mo dyan? So may kukwento ka na and maaring mas naiba ka doon sa other 100 job applicants. And then you can already start meeting with potential employers. No? If you're pitching to mayors, to city offices, government offices, then makikilala na nila kayo, and then kung maganda yung performance ninyo, baka sila pa mag-text sa inyo. They'll say, uy, Iha, may opening kami dito. No? Gusto mong mag-apply. Okay? So, ano yung different components of this volunteer opportunity? One, there's some training, online or in person, and then magkakaroon rin ng practicum para maging totohanan yung learning ninyo. And then another component is participating in the microfarm initiatives, no? And our friend si Monsi will share more about that later on. And then number 3, start engaging LGUs. No? Find SK allies so that we can start presenting to the municipal mayors in the region. No? May techniques dyan for networking. And then if we do that, no, through our 8 campuses, napakalapad na ng footprint natin, magiging provincial scale na yung influence natin. And then we can start engaging. All the regional offices of Region 10 are in Cagayan de Oro. So madali lang yon for us to engage the regional offices. And then, we can showcase what you're doing in USTP to other universities all over the country, such that kung ano yung good work that you're doing in Region 10, yung ginagawa natin sa Region 10, maaaring kopyahin ng other universities in other region, and therefore mamumultiply yung impact ninyo. So, ano yung next steps? If you're interested, and we hope you're interested, please sign up at fb.com/zerohungerlab or lcp.zerohungerlab.com. And then start a small team. Maghatak ka na ng 2 to 5 friends para madali. No? Kung may crush ka sa kabilang section, you invite them. This is a good excuse to walk up to your crush and invite them to do something interesting with you. And then you can already start thinking of a municipality that you want to work with. No? Either hometown mo or hometown ng crewmates mo, para nagiging mas specific or concrete na yung pinagplatanuhan niya. Okay? So we're hoping that you sign up or you consider it or you forward this opportunity to friends of yours who might be interested in this initiative. And we'll be open to questions later on. Thank you very much, and back to you, Chelsea.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elmer. So everyone, let's go and sign up na sa ating Sustainable Development Goals na mga program, no? So Sir Elmer has taught us about their programs, at it's really helpful for us youth, especially that right now it's really timely for us to engage in sustainable development programs. So thank you so much again for that, Dr. Elmer Soriano. So now the next speaker is the co-founder of Kids Who Farm, a nonprofit startup and advocacy initiative based in Zamboanga City that aims to engage more young people into agriculture as a viable and sustainable livelihood. So let us welcome Mr. Munir A. Hinay as he talks about Kids Who Farm championing food security. A round of applause, please.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're hearing me loud and clear. Yes, malinaw naman. Okay. Again, thank you so much, GSK CDO, USTP, Zero Hunger Lab, our very active partners, in advancing the many issues, solutions to the issues of food security, hunger, and overall sustainability of our food system. So daghang salamat for inviting us. And I'm happy to also join once again sa kaninga program, because this is something that we wanted to do to help amplify our advocacies. So ayan, so let me start off with a question. How many of you here are aspiring SK officials? Can I see a thumbs up if you are running for a position in the Sangguniang Kabataan? Cursory survey lang. Yan. Here in the chat room and here in Facebook Live. Yan. So, okay. So, of course, this is not just for the aspiring SK officials. No? This is for everyone. No? We always say that eating is an agricultural act. No? So for as long as you eat, you are part of food security, you are part of the food system. And our topic, or my topic this afternoon, will focus on the tagline, more food, less waste. No? It has been our battle cry ever since we started, to get more people participate in local food systems, and also to address the pressing issues of unsustainable practices, such as our waste management, and so on. The future is going to be bleak. We are living in what we call a climate-defined future. This is very unfortunate, but we have seen that indeed the human footprint has impacted a lot on the status of our ecosystem, of our planet. Unsustainable practices, unplanned urbanization, and everything else has brought us to this point. And according to the experts, July of this year, was recorded as the month with the hottest month on record. No? So, and in fact, according to UN Secretary General Gutierrez, Antonio Gutierrez, the era of global warming has ended and the era of global boiling has begun. No? So medyo getting worse na tayo. And it is very important because a lot of the impacts of climate change has something to do with the food system. The way we grow our food, the way we produce our food, the way we manage our waste, no? And everything else, no? And this is very important because it will impact not just to us today, but you guys, you, the leaders, the youth in the future. By year 2050, we're going to be around 9.8 billion people, and we will need the equivalent of 3 planets worth of resources to sustain our way of life. And if we don't transform our food system, we barely have around 26 years before we run out of food. And the unfortunate thing is that our farmers, who are our food producers, are not getting any younger. And the future of food security really rests on the anticipated participation of young people in the issues of food and farming. And that's why this is our little story. Our group is called Kids Who Farm, Sustainable Food Systems, Inc. We are a nonprofit startup, an advocacy initiative founded by a 9-year-old. No? Our founder is Raina. She's my daughter. And our goal is to really provide a platform for the meaningful participation of the youth in food security solutions and the transformation of our food system. We are a collective of young leaders here in Zamboanga from different walks of life, different background. One of our core founders is an SK chairman, no? Remjan RJ Miranda. All the rest are involved in different advocacies from culture and arts, food, agriculture, peace, development, community enterprise, and so on and so forth, including health. No? So, and we're fortunate to collaborate with a lot of experts, with local leaders, both in our city and in the national scale to advance the advocacy of Kids Who Farm. With a mission of building a sustainable food system, a food system that protects food and nutrition security today without compromising the basis to generate such food and nutrition security in the future for the future generations. And we have seen that indeed a lot of our areas, including Cagayan de Oro, Zamboanga City, and all the other cities, are really fast urbanizing. And the reality is that because we are urbanizing, food production has been compromised. And there's an opportunity to focus on what we call urban agriculture solutions. Because through urban agriculture, when you say urban agriculture, it's not just about producing food, but the whole aspect, the whole value chain of food system, from production to consumption. We can help localize our food supply, make our food hyper-local, sustain our food supply, at the same time regenerate our city. In the case of Zamboanga, we're almost 1 million people already, and we are 89% urbanized. No? So that's why we work with a lot of partners here. As you can see in the photo, that's a micro farm in the middle of the city here in Zamboanga, inside a gasoline station, where we develop the area into a garden or a micro farm. And aside from that, we work with a lot of communities as well, including partners from the Sangguniang Kabataan, the schools, barangays, to help also establish micro farms. So we have a prototype model, and I guess that's we already expanded to do that one also in Cagayan de Oro, in other places. No? And our work has brought us to different areas, no? As far as Tawi-Tawi, Zamboanga del Sur, near your place, Cagayan de Oro, Bukidnon, and even in Manila. And we are thankful for all the partners that we have worked closely with. Of course, this is not a singular undertaking. No? And what we're doing is to collaborate, to partner, and to build more bridges, no, so that we can help address our issues of food security. Some examples, like for example, we work with women. Women are a very important sector in our society. If you give them the right technology opportunity, they can produce as much as men, and they can be more productive. So we work with these women in Barangay, which is the relocation site for Zamboanga siege victims. Convert a former landfill into a thriving garden, and became their livelihood already. Institutionally, we collaborated with hospitals such as Zamboanga City Medical Center, the largest hospital in Zamboanga Peninsula, to establish what we call the hospital microfarm, utilizing what is available in terms of materials, no? And this is to aim to improve hospital patients' diet. So the hospital is now able to access vegetables fresh from their microfarm. They cook it and let the patients eat the food. We work in the island barangays. Now, Zamboanga City has a number of island barangays, one of which is Simariki Island, the home of the Sama Bangingi tribe, to integrate urban farming using container gardens or hydroponics in their food production, because although they have like a lot of fishes, marine products, seaweed, but they lack vegetables. But there's a technology, urban agriculture can really address that one. So they're now growing hydroponics, petchay, kangkong, and so on. But in a low-tech approach, no, utilizing what is available in terms of materials like bamboo, repurposed containers, and so on. This type of project has been replicated as well in Tawi-Tawi through our work with BARM, Flag Youth, the youth organization of the BARM, working with agencies such as the Ministry of Agriculture to also establish the microfarm. And we're thankful also to our Manila-based partners such as Kids for Kids who supported this undertaking. Not just in Tawi-Tawi, but we are also in Bukidnon, thanks to our volunteers there in Cagayan de Oro, which I will introduce later. We have school microfarms in 6 municipalities in Bukidnon, starting from Bendom in Malaybalay to the Jesuit Retreat House in Malaybalay City to Pangantukan to Talakag. And we were able to integrate na soilless agriculture, urban hydroponics in a way that is very adaptable to the area. So thanks to our team there in Cagayan de Oro, our youth advocates, headed by Maiden, you have Jan and Patrick, and all the youth volunteers of Kids of Farm based in Cagayan de Oro who made this project possible. We're not just working in crops alone, we also do seaweeds. So in Zamboanga City, we have a seaweed industry, and the issue of seaweed farming and vegetable farming is it's like more or less similar, because a lot of young people who are the sons and daughters of seaweed farmers don't want to do seaweed anymore. So we develop a program where we introduce seaweed farming to urban kids so that they're able to immerse themselves in growing seaweeds, harvesting seaweeds, and that whole process. And of course, after seaweed harvesting and planting, maliligo na sila dyan sa beach. And so sa floating cottages. So that's a program we're doing right now. The other one we're working, this is something that is replicable because we're working with SK in Santa Maria, Zamboanga City, one of the biggest urban barangays in Zamboanga City, to implement a project we call the Food Loop. A food loop is a circular systems project which addresses food security and food waste all at the same time, using an ingenious tool we call the Gardenator, which is a vertical barrel drum, very low cost, very low tech, very replicable, but this is very effective. So they're able to grow vegetables. They were able to throw their food waste there to become compost and eventually serve as their fertilizer. So supported by the SK, the Food Loop project was paved the way for the SK of Santa Maria to craft a barangay ordinance called the Food Loop Ordinance, mandating first food chains, eateries, restaurants in the city to adopt the Food Loop project, establish their own gardenators, and in the process, help address the issues of food waste and hyper-localizing their food supply. Like, for example, a restaurant buys like onions from the market. Because they have this food loop already, they can now grow their onions through the Gardenator. Yeah, so very easy. You can actually copy this. This is very replicable in other places as well. In all the process, we have learned that indeed an idea can really spark change. To echo Greta Thunberg, we have learned that you are never too small to make a difference. And engaging the youth really starts with engaging institutions such as SK. So this is our first SK garden in Zamboanga in Barangay Tumaga. We established during the pandemic, and serve as a model for SKs later on, that they can actually participate in local food security solutions, no? Because there are no activities during that time, walang basketball, wala iba pang activities, no? And it became more meaningful because other SKs copied as well, no? In the case of Tubaga, it became Santa Maria, Divisoria, that's the barangays here. And they're able to copy this, no, and implement the microfarm model. Mobilizing their youth in volunteering activities to help establish their community microfarms. So very meaningful undertaking for the youth. So na-mention ni Sir Elmer kanina, this is a very tangible thing that you can do actually and create, kita talaga yung impact on the ground. And in the process kasi, what we're doing is we're not just like teaching them about growing food, but the underlying factor dito is that we're teaching our young people about becoming food citizens, that you are not just consumers, but you are part of the food system, and you can address a lot of other pressing issues, no? Not just food, but sustainability, plastics, and so on and so forth. And to make you aware that your food choices have an impact on the planet, the people, and the economy. And at a young age, this is very essential, no, in building that kind of mindset. You empathize more towards food. You value the effort of the farmers, no? And how can you do that? Experiential. Let the youth experience it. Make it a part of your programming. And taking responsibility in the food that we eat, no? So, and we have seen already the impacts of our food choices on climate and so on. So it's high time that we really empower our people to become food citizens. Becoming food citizens also needs something like role models, no? Kasi in agriculture, we rarely have role models, no? Of course, we have like the Marvels, superheroes and all. Pero sa tingin namin, kailangan din kasi ng kabataan yung isang superhero, isang role model pagdating sa agriculture. And these role models can be found in your community. So we take pride that we were able to collaborate with these role models that we look up to. Like, for example, si Kadodoy Balyon. If you haven't heard of him, he's the very first Filipino na nabigyan ng Magsaysay Award because as a fisherman, as a fisherfolk, as a concerned citizen, he was able to protect his area, no, and reforest it, no, into mangrove forest and bring back the fishes, bring back the marine life, and in the process, stabilize their community, bring livelihood, and so on. Very inspiring story. You can search Kadodoy. And we collaborated with him to integrate vegetable production in their community kasi mahirap din yung access to gulay, but using hydroponics as a vehicle, as a tool. No? Role models such as in terms of local policy in Zamboanga City, we work with our local policy leaders such as our committee chair on agriculture, Honorable Litlit Macrohon, to craft policies that will advance agriculture. So the recent one is that we were able to already have the institutionalization of urban agriculture approved at the public hearing level, no? So malaking progress na yon, no? So magkakaroon na kami ng urban agriculture ordinance here in Zamboanga, thanks to Honorable Litlit Macrohon and the members of the Sangguniang Panlungsod was very passionate about really making Zamboanga address urbanization by ensuring urban agriculture institutionalization. Local mayors, no, outside Zamboanga, such as the organic town in the Philippines or in Mindanao, Dumingag, Zamboanga del Sur, is governed by an organic farmer who is now a mayor, Honorable Jerry Paglinawan, and her daughter Janice, who is the winner, the national winner of the Young Farmers Challenge, the first batch, no, in 2020. And they're both this father and daughter tandem are really inspiring. There are role models as well because they're able to bridge the challenge of making organic agriculture very palatable for young people, very profitable, and so on and so forth. So this is our project. It's a grow house. It's hydroponics. We introduced it as well in their community. We're talking of organic. There's another way to do organic farming. It's called Jadam, Korean Farming Systems. And Carlo is a model for that one. He's based in Dipolog. He's giving us the idea that if you do Jadam, ultra low cost farming, you can actually earn a lot by planting also high value vegetables such as Persian cucumber or coriander and selling it to the market. Carlo is a young entrepreneur himself, an advocate of organic farming. Something that our local leaders can also take pride, diba? Kasi they're doing this. These are young people. The journey of Kitso Farm was never easy. No, it's not a walk in the park, but according to our local business leader here in Zamboanga, si William Chulim, the owner of Mega Sardines. If you keep changing your focus, you have less time to succeed. You have to put your heart and mind to your vision and never give up no matter the odds. Ayan. So and also seeking mentors, no, it's important to seek mentors, no. Either you're an SK, you're a youth leader, you seek mentors. You have mentors there sa USTP and the academe, because these mentors have the humility, no, na to teach you, to guide you, to help you in the process. Ganun din nangyari sa amin. We were mentored by the former Secretary Dar, who inspired us to really move forward with this advocacy. And we realized that hindi naman nagsisimula sa malalaking bagay yan. Great things start from small beginnings, di ba? And start with a single pot, no? How can you encourage your constituents to grow their food, no? Teach them about container gardening, make it a part of your program, and learn from there, no? So, sabi nga sa GSK CDO, gulayan sa kabalayan, no? Start with your home garden. And of course, yan, marami kasi sa atin, medyo maingay, pero walang ginagawa, no? Kaya importante, talk is cheap. We should talk less and act more, and help us build a waste-free and food-secure future. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Monsi, baka pwede natin tawagin yung next speaker.
Yeah, John, are you ready to proceed for the next talk? Then. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask questions. No, you can type it in the chat box, or as we were waiting for the other speaker, baka pwede nyo tanungin kami dalawa ni Sir Elmer. Yeah.
So sige, ako na lang magtanong to kick things off while waiting. So Monsi, yun, you're aware na may mga SK federations at the city level pa lang sa Zamboanga, may SK federation. What was your experience in multiplying the impact through the federation? There's a city federation, then provincial federation. Well, nag-propagate ba through the federation?
Yes, parang what we did was to parang formalize the collaboration with our local youth federation, SK Federation. And the good thing is there's a local youth development council here in the city that advances all the agenda ng youth, no. Medyo maganda yung structure. Of course, it's not naman a mandate, but they can encourage kasi the youth SK officials to venture into food security as their project, as their program, part of their program. And in fact, it's part of the 9 areas of governance. So parang hindi mahirap na maghanap ng rationale na mag-start sila to advocate food security, kasi ang dami naman yang natutuhog na mga pillars, no? Health, environment, no, education. Kaya nagiging mas mas madaling i-grasp ng mga local leaders. But that also has to be parang at the end of the day, it's still the SK chairman who's going to decide, no, if adapt niyo yun or not. But I guess from our experience here, very supportive yung ating Federation of SK, the local Youth Development Council, and nakita niyo naman in the policies na ginagawa natin. Of course, one at a time lang, pero mayroon naman tayo ng success story, so we can take it off from there.
Ano naman yung nagka-chat ko yung tech team, nag-brown out daw sa kanila. So we can continue
Yeah,
with this.
sige.
Unless nandito na ba yung sino yung third speaker? If the third speaker
Si
is,
John. Yan.
kung nandito si John, just let
Yes,
us know.
John, please go ahead.
Oh, pero parang wala pa siya eh. So, anong experience mo, Monsi, in working with student organizations in universities? Kasi di ba magkakabarkada yan, they look for activities to do together, and then itong microfarm is an outdoorsy activity, so I imagine that some student organizations will be drawn to this. What's your experience on working with student organizations?
Yeah, of course, yung student organizations naman depende sa kanilang priority. No? Like for example, academic organizations, normally they focus on academic matters. Pero social-civic organizations, like those that are based in school and out of school, we normally work with them. Mas madali ang coordination kasi aligned yung programs. No? The good thing about here in Zamboanga is that very active yung mga school-based organizations, and there's a number of school-based environmental organization. Yun talaga yung parang suki namin when it comes to getting them involved in the activities. Dahil nga meron kaming volunteer program, tawag namin sa mga volunteers namin, garden attackers. We do a garden attack. Nagpa-participate yung mga organizations na to. And they bring their classmates, their fellow members, no. Outside of school naman, yung mga civic organizations such as Rotaract clubs like JCI has been very, very active in supporting the program. Parang recurring yan. And I guess siguro I can say na malaking factor sa success ng mga communities namin, yung consistency ng support ng mga civic organizations. Yung they partner with you pero they're in the long haul. So hindi lang yung partnering for one activity. So yung isang story namin ng women organization na naging successful, kasi consistent yung support ng civic organizations, ng Rotaract Club doon sa sa community na yon.
At the rate you're going, kailan kaya magiging nationwide itong movement? Kasi movement like na ito, no? Yung you don't have to fund them kasi kanya-kanyang volunteer. And it's so easy now to engage youth all over the country. Lalo na may SK election, lahat yan maghanap ng i-agenda, no? Ano yung nakita mo, no? There will be close to over 300,000 yung may elect na SK officials all over the country. How do you imagine na yung 300,000 plus na yun ma-invite natin into this movement?
Of course, hindi talaga 100% no, Sir Elmer, pero at this point kasi, to also recognize, no, marami na rin talagang SK ang gumagawa ng local food security initiatives. No, and there's a number of memoranda, declarations from the National Youth Commission supporting urban agriculture, supporting local food security initiatives. And we have to recognize that one kasi parang they help amplify the work that we're doing. So parang you don't need to reinvent the wheel na. So if there's a successful SK in the city or in the particular LGU that is doing this, I guess we need to bring them up. We can help highlight them. Tayo naman sa private sector kasi we don't have the luxury of resources unlike the government, di ba? But the good thing is that we can always share our initiatives such as the Zero Hunger Lab model, create more conversations like this, enroll them to our programs to encourage more SK na when you enroll to the Zero Hunger Lab, mas ma-improve pa, mas ma-deepen pa ang inyong programming on food security, on food systems, at magkakaroon pa ng value adding, no? Kasi whoever participates will have that kind of experience na they can really showcase, no? O naging part ako, naging fellow ako doon sa Zero Hunger Lab. In our case naman, para siyang business to business yung transaction namin. So we collaborate with organizations to help replicate our programs. But since we do this program talaga, we're here naman for long term eh. So once you engage a community, hindi naman namin iiwan yan. So when we establish a micro farm, that's phase 1. There's another pa, no, enterprise, community, financial literacy, and so on, until nagkakaroon na nga ng traction and sustainability yung project. So ang siguro kami, we're here in Mindanao, but thankfully we have a negotiation now with Cebu naman. So we're expanding in urban Cebu to replicate the microfarm model. Yeah, I guess andito na si Chelsea. Yeah.
Okay, back to you, Chelsea.
Thank you, Sir Elmer.
Hello po, Sir Elmer and Sir Munir. No? So we actually have some questions here po sa ating chat box, if I'm not mistaken. May nag-ask po on how can we join po sa Zero Hunger Lab? So can we answer this question po?
Yes. Well, una, mag-sign up na lang kayo doon sa website that we shared with you, yung lcp.zerohungerlab.com, no, or fb.com/zerohungerlab. May volunteer form doon. And then a quick answer to that is we are organizing yung Zero Hunger Lab na parang TEDx. If you're familiar with it, yung TEDx, you have to apply for it, but we can assign to you a free license to run the Zero Hunger Lab in your own municipality, in your school. And then authorize kayo to do the Zero Hunger Lab thing according to certain parameters. Para ma-feel nyo na, uy, member rin kami ng Zero Hunger Lab. You can use the logo, mga ganyan-ganyan. May guidelines yun, but we actually believe that, all provinces, all municipalities should have at least one school-hosted Zero Hunger Lab. No? Para merong local school na iniisip yung food security and nutrition of its own population. And then may researchers na nag-analyze ng local data. Back to you, Chelsea.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elmer. No? And I hope that was answered. Your question was answered, Mr. Alexander. So let's go ahead and join talaga the what do you call this one? The Zero Hunger Lab. Thank you so much po again, Sir Elmer. Thank you so much also, Sir Munir, for the insights earlier. And as what Mr. Munir has mentioned earlier, na in engaging the youth, it starts with the engagement in the institution. So our mga SK, it's really important to promote our sustainable development goals and make a change because it starts with us. Thank you so much po. So, is there any other questions po from our participants here sa Zoom or sa Facebook viewers po natin so that our guest speakers will attend to your concerns po? Is there anything else? You can comment here on the chat box below and also at the Facebook live po. You can also comment down at the comment section. So Mr. Elmer, Dr. Elmer has actually put the link na po here, Mr. Alexander, so that we can sign up for the Zero Hunger Lab. So I really do hope na marami talaga tayong magsa-sign up because we're gonna make a change for our country talaga. No? Sir, is there anything else po that, any questions or anything po? All right, so it seems na wala nang mga questions for our guest speaker. Thank you so much, Mr. Munir and Mr. Elmer for that talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So as we proceed to our last speaker, everyone, please don't forget to share, react, and comment your thoughts, mga ka-GSKs. And also, we have actually catered na the questions from our two speakers earlier. So later on, baka may questions guys ating last but not the least speaker. Here he is. Continuing with him, he is actually a partnerships officer from Kayana, an acronym for Cagayanon Youth Network Alliance, CDO-based youth organization, a youth advocate, and a volunteer for Kids Who Form and O2 Youth Leader, a speaker at Private Sector Summit 1 in Motion 2022, and yet BYOB 2023, and a very dedicated person striving to create an inclusive future for the youth and the community. Let us welcome Mr. John Ray Remadevia as he shares the experience of youth advocates. A round of applause, please.
Hello. Am I audible? I believe I am. Hello. We're good. So, to start off, my name is John. I'm from the Cagayanon Youth Network Alliance, the partnership officer. Before we start, actually, I just want to tell you guys that we have experienced a very dire situation here at the WAR office, as we call it. So, to start off, the journey to become one of the youth advocates for me is actually pretty unexpected. It started with me just volunteering for fun. My free time, I have a lot of free time because I don't go to school anymore. Though I'm planning to, pero as of right now, everything is blurry. To start off, my name is John again. And also let's go back to actually how I did it. So at first, in order to make some projects, we always think of something in our organization before we do it is our why. Why we do it, because that actually, the answer to that why is actually the problem that you're trying to solve. And it will give you solutions based on that question. So, libog siya, libog. It's very hard to understand. However, if you actually start doing it, you'll find out why it's happening. So at first, our question was, where is the youth participation in agriculture sector here in the Philippines? That's our why. Where is that? That's what we're finding out. So in order for us to answer that why, the answer itself is actually onto the question now. Where is the youth? So the only thing that we did, since we are an OSY or out of school centered organization, we also have partners. We actually did try and look for partners as fast as we can, but as efficient as well. So first, I volunteered actually as the partnerships officer, and then I volunteered as well for Kids Who Farm. Funny story is because we do have we implemented so much project with Kids Who Farm, pero me and Sir Munir has not seen each other in face-to-face. It's always Zoom calls, Gmeet, and that says a lot. Like, that says a lot because it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter if it's me and our partner will see each other face-to-face because we have the virtual space na. Why not use that as an advantage? You know, easier communication can be run through Messenger and emails. And then actually face-to-face interaction with your partners is necessary, but it's not always mandatory. You just need to connect on the advocacy that you guys are looking for. For me and Sir Munir, youth advocates and Kids Who Farm looks at the same thing, which is food security and food waste. Because we have the same advocacy, we can easily connect through our projects and volunteering. So because of connection and because of the same advocacy, we're able to see the problems. We also see the problems easily. And then what we do is for Kids Who Farm is we implement those projects that is near here in Cagayan de Oro, because Zamboanga is so far away from Bukidnon, and then CDO is very near to Bukidnon. Then Sir Munir will tap us that, hey, we need help. This is very more accessible to you guys. Can you do it? Then in return, yeah, sure, we can do it. And then again, this is a give and take situation. However, the partnership is not always 50-50. It's not always 50-50, pero yung long run of the partnership will always run through. That's the only thing that we're looking for. We're not looking for what we can get from our partners, but we're looking for the longevity of the partnership itself. It's not always about I'm getting this from you and we're getting this from us. It's about we can help you throughout your advocacy. We can help you throughout the year that you're operating for your advocacies. Okay. So the why in our organization, because we do not see the participation in youth in agriculture. And then the problem also is our aging farmers. What we did was actually caravans. So here in Cagayan de Oro, there is what we call LSP, or what we call local service provider schools. These are technical schools providing national certificates to the students for out of school as well. So what we did, because we are OSY centered, we partnered with those schools, talked to them in these caravans, and then after a one, we said what we need, what we're currently doing, and then if they're interested, they'll actually tell us that they are. So from that, we can have now volunteers, which is very, very important in every organization, as Sir Elmer said earlier. Youth participation seems gone, but youth participation actually helps a lot in nation building on itself, because it's volunteerism. Me myself, I'm not gonna say that I'm a dedicated volunteer, because sometimes I wake up late for the project implementations that we do, but I conquer those things to further change for the better, no. So again, problem is again, for our SK, even as a small and a startup organization, we can do things in a way where we find and look for partnerships, and that is not so easy. You guys, I believe in you guys, you have the 9 center of youth participation, and number 1 there is health, and then we also have, you guys, the youth centered the youth centered participations, the 9 pillars, which is health, education, and that on itself, as well as you have the title of holding as the SK officials. You have the mandate to do these things, and if you have the mandate, if it's in the memo, you guys have the capabilities and financial reach in order to do these projects well. What you need is to find an existing organization that do these things already, so that they can capacitate you on how to do these things. Just like how Zamboanga did it with Kids Who Farm, we can also replicate that project. I don't believe Sir Munir will be angry if we replicate those things, because again, we share the same advocacy. That is the misconception of every organization, that they're competing. No, we're not competing. We're doing these things for the betterment of our country, and in the big scale for our planet as well. Because again, we only have one planet, and that is the Earth. Our food. Okay, let's reserve the questions for later. So again, I'm very happy to see, I actually have familiar faces here. Van Bautista is also a fellow O2 youth leader. We've met sa National Youth Summit last August sa Clark, Pampanga. So I'm very happy to see my fellow O2 youth leader to be here and listen to us as well. And then also, this is actually why I'm here for. This is actually not for me to say that this is what we do. This is actually a challenge for the SK officials that are watching right now. If an organization like us, a startup, can do this with so little support and with so much hard work, you guys can truly replicate it and have much more finances and reach. No? So again, this is not about competition. This is about partnerships. This is for the longevity of the Earth, ika nga. So again, my name is John, and if you have questions, I want to end my talk here. But if you have questions for me, this is just questions for me. I have a couple of minutes left more. So if you have questions for me on how we did it, you guys can ask now. We have, I guess, 5 minutes. So any questions? Okay, let's look at the chat. So I'm gonna entertain the questions earlier. Okay, I guess there isn't. No more questions? Oh, there it is. Then how can we mobilize student organization to support this advocacy? Again, if you guys want to mobilize this kind of advocacy in your school, better to tap those who is actually with experience or an organization. This is the very hard part. We actually think that it's very hard to talk to an organization, but in reality, it's actually pretty easy. Just try to look for their information, email them about this and that, and then talk to them. It's not that hard. If you are from Cagayan de Oro, Cagayan Youth Network Alliance is really, really willing to help and connect with you. Just go to our Facebook page. Let's talk. Actually, there is a lot. If you're Cagayan, if you're from Cagayan de Oro, which is great. And also, there is a lot of organizations here from USTP that is actually trying to tap us in to do these projects with them. But I believe right now they're very busy with their school, so that is put on hold right now. Pero yeah, I think the misconception here organization is we're hard to talk to. Actually, we're not. Just start off by saying, hey, we need your help, and we're willing to oblige. Did that like answer the question, or you need more? No. Okay, I guess that's it for me here. The floor is now open for questions. Dili na, not for me anymore. More for all the speakers. So I guess let's go ahead and actually do that. Okay, so there is a question here from Sir Val. It says, how do we engage youth to involve with farming, and how can we glamorize food security to them? So the first things first, I'm gonna answer on how we can glamorize it. In today's era, there is a maarte, mga aryat na mga aryat people. They think farming is always dirty. That's why we tend to give the option to do hydroponics, which is pretty easy. You don't need to touch dirt, and that's how we glamorize it. Like, you don't need to dirty your freshly done nails. You don't need to get those sunburns sa imuhang freshly beauty wise products. So I guess that's how we do it. We show that farming is always accessible to everyone. And question number 2 here is, how do we engage to involve youth with farming? Well, it's simply by saying the problem, telling them that this is currently happening, this is true, and just telling the problem that is and currently we're experiencing will have the sense of urgency inside them that, oh my God, I'm not gonna eat my sangyupsal anymore, because you cannot eat sangyupsal without lettuce. Okay, so if we plant lettuce, then you can prevent that. I mean, I'm just joking here, but if you actually dig deep to that particular sentence that I just said, then that is actually pretty true. Like, given that the youth of today is pretty maarte, I'm not gonna lie. So, did that answer the question? Oh my God. Okay, if there isn't any question now, I'm gonna go ahead and actually give the floor back to our host so that we could have some questions and we can end the webinar. Thank you so much. Okay, go. Oh my God.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. John Reynor. Madavia, grabe. Amidst the struggles, the challenges, the war zone that we are experiencing right now, our last guest speaker has still successfully delivered his knowledge and expertise,
in in volunteering in terms of sustainable development. Grabe, cool that we really do have some wars to face on here on our unit. We had so much information delivered to us today. So we hope that everyone was able as you continue to serve for the community. So if you have more further questions, please do not hesitate to message GSKCDO and we will surely answer your queries right away po. So thank you so much for being with us today for our webinar that concludes our insightful program for today. We thank the leaders for being with us through the whole duration of the event. We hope that you were able to gain such essential points as you traverse into your leadership journey within your community. So let us serve the community with integrity. And before we say our goodbye, let's have our picture taking. Really do know nga, grabe talaga ang struggles na pinagdadaanan natin ngayon. But we still prevailed. Grabe talaga ang GSK. So if you have stable connections there, everyone, you can open your account and flash those bright smiles. I do believe the technical teams also deserve to be on the photo operation, no? So that we can see their smile amidst the challenges talaga. Because earlier, I think their faces cannot be, na talaga, hindi na talaga may tsura kasi like yung some like hindi na sure kung saan papunta, kung mag-generator na ba kami dito, or magdada-flash na ba, mag-generate na ba kami ng aming own powers. So, anyways, guys, so much of that, no? We are requesting everyone to please open their cam so that we can proceed to our picture taking. All right. Okay, ready, everyone? In 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3. Anyway. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Smile. Smile for everyone, smile. All right, since we're going back to its normal, but everything is okay na pala dito sa amin. Now we want to proceed to our recognition of certificate for our speakers. So for our first speaker, certificate of recognition is awarded to Dr. Elmer S. Soriano po for sharing valuable insights and expertise during the webinar entitled No More Gutom, an online forum for aspiring SK officials discussing food security, which has enriched our audience's knowledge and left a lasting impact. Your dedication and commitment to our cause are deeply appreciated po. So given this 11th of October 2023 via Zoom Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental, signed by ENP Angeli Azcuna Collera, Head of Center for Human Development, and Mr. Floreto Biquinito Jr., the Director of Office of Student Affairs. And the same citation is given to the second speaker, Sir Munir A. Hinay. And also, once again, a virtual applause for everyone, our speakers, Gavin Food. Thank you so much for being with us here at our No More Gutom webinar. Thank you so much and have a great day.